Everybody's hunting pass rushers at the top of the draft, and there's a big boy down at the U that has scouts snooping. Rueben Bain Jr. is a hand-in-the-dirt power rusher whose tenacity and strength helped him bully his way to ACC Defensive Player of the Year. But no player has sparked polarizing opinions about them quite like this dude in draft season, with questions constantly raised about size and arm length. So let's dive into the tape and find out the truth. The number one priority when playing edge is rushing the passer, and Rueben Bain Jr. is a force to be reckoned with. His go-to move is his power, taking the shortest path to the QB and overwhelming the opposition with immense strength and excellent hand-fighting ability. No better display than this, a pure bull rush to get through for the sack. Hand in the dirt, he's quick off the snap, getting low and under the pad level, ramming the right tackle back into his QB. Pockets squeezed from all angles, leaving no escape. Bain untangles and leaps before he can escape. From a 2-point stance this time, he's again fast off the ball, using the motion to time it. He's immediately pouncing, driving back the tackle like a bull seeing red, and opening an angle to the ball. He releases with a quick swim, and then spin slams the QB to the turf on a big third down. Next, it's Notre Dame feeling the wrath of his power. Bain once again gets that immense push on the right tackle, driving him backwards until he can't go back no more, then shifting him out the way for an attack. His teammate gets hands on the QB first, but Bain comes in to finish the job. Zooming in, I want to focus on his hands. Bain throws a quick but very heavy punch that knocks back linemen, and understands geometry, knowing one arm is longer than two. He also shows a knack for swiping away the opposition's initial engagement, thanks to the fast hands generating that power punch. This is a great example. The right tackle steps shallow to cut off Bain's angle and tries to fire the first punch to control a rush. But watch Bain time this swipe perfectly, knocking down the hands and quickly timing his own punch up and under the pads. He bullies the tackle back into the QB, but the ball's out before he can be a nuisance. Bain might not get any stats here, but this is a win on the scouting sheet. Move to the left here. Bain ends up rushing the guard as part of a late 5-man front. Again, the O-lineman wins the initial punch, but Rueben plays through the elbows and twists the block, then uses a hump technique to throw the guard out the way. He's created a clear path, and it's an early scheduled physical therapy session for the QB. Again, that front kicks him down onto the guard, and great tenacity wins him a sack. The tackle kicks down to help double, but Bain focuses his efforts on the guard, knowing the tackle will peel off, untangling himself from the block with great hand fighting, then rips under and through. The rest of the Canes are hunting too, and Bain's clear path takes him through for a sack. And this is real nice hand fighting and an elite motor to stay on the play. The double is sent his way with the chip, but Bain is quick to dismiss the tight end with a nice swim move. Then, approaching the tackle, he sells the outside speed rush before throwing the right hook and knocking himself clear to the QB. He's off running, and Bain is in pursuit, chasing this all the way down to the check down, who is saved by the tackling corner. There are also some nice flashes of dynamic rushes too, where he'll dip under his man or make a tackle look silly. However, some of his strong bend is negated by a lack of length. More on that later. This is a premier pass rushing snap you want to see from a guy you're drafting high. Strong snap timing, hands to swipe away the punch, and then the bend and rip to get under and around the tackle with a flat angle and hunt the QB. He gets held here as he turns the corner, but the hold won't stop the sack. I want to see more of this because he made this tackle get roasted in the film room. He initially bursts upfield before cutting hard into what looks like his patented bull rush, only to Europe step himself back wide, timed perfectly with the swim. The tackle's lurching forward, expecting the power move, and Bain glides his way past. Again, the ball's out before there's anything in the books, but we don't care about stats over here. And this is the best of the bunch. In an obvious passing situation, Bain can tee off on the tackle, again triggering on the snap count and beating the tackle to the angle. Fantastic dip and rip to dodge under the punch, flattening his angle on a devastation path to the QB. This video is sponsored by PrizePicks. Only 4 teams are left in March Madness, and baseball season is back in motion, and PrizePicks is the best place to win cash watching live sports. PrizePicks will give you $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in lineups just for playing. The app is really easy to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats, and you're on your way to winning. PrizePicks is available in over 35 states, including California and Texas. So download the app and use our promo code HMA to get $50 in lineups now. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. While not the fastest of feet, something you will have noticed is Bain's excellent feel for timing the snap, always applying pressure with his quick reactions. Lined up as a zero tech here, Bain creates serious havoc that requires a hold to halt. It's a perfectly timed get off, immediately hurrying the center, and then a great punch followed by a swim to cause pressure right up the A-gap. A hold stops the sack, but Rueben still won the play. And here's good timing off the snap in the run. Quick to get up on the tight end and stand him up, putting him in perfect position if the run comes his way. The back tries to bounce, and Bain leaps for the tackle for loss. Along with timing the snap, Rueben shows a strong ability to read the play, reacting fast to disrupt an offense's plans. He's all over Ohio State's attempted stretch left here, beating the tackle to the angle and ready to fight if the double team comes. The tight end fans out, so Bain anchors down and keeps pushing the blocker wide, denying a cutback lane but still holding the outside angle. The back is forced to extend wide, and Ruben's there to meet him for a tackle for loss. Against Notre Dame, more reading and strength shown. He stands the man up when he feels him crash forward for the run, eyes in the backfield to read it. Seeing it's coming his way, he rips the block aside before lunging at the back for another big stop. This is nice defense and understanding of the read option. Feeling the tackles set up to cut an angle and not maul, he doesn't commit hard to the run, holding his lane. When the QB keeps it, it's nice footwork to cut off the angle and dead the play. And this one contains a large amount of luck, but it's good hustle and a good showing of his motor. When the ball is thrown out wide on the RPO, Bain doesn't stop pursuing, navigating to find it in case he's needed. The pass is disrupted and ends up ricocheting off 3 different players and going skyward, where a hustling Bain collects it for an interception. Always go to the ball. With his Hulk-like strength, Bain was tasked with setting the edge a lot for Miami, which he held strong, showing good technique for standing up his man and controlling the block, and then leaping for the runner when they did come his way. Here, it gets him a tackle for loss in the playoffs. The tackle doesn't close the space fast enough, and 4 can stand him up and read the play, dismissing him when the runner breaks wide and crashing for the tackle for loss. This time, he's moved inside against the Irish, but more strength throws away the block. They try to run a same side power and pin down on Bain, but he's there to rip through the tight end's block and has the strength to dive for the runner's legs, ruining the play. And against Florida, he shows off those hand-fighting skills to become the tackler. He lets the tackle think he has the block before knocking down his arms and swimming free, standing in the back's path and leaving nowhere else to go. For all the good snaps and positive traits in Bain's displays, there are still some very concerning factors that show up on film. He is a player that heavily relies on his physical gifts, specifically his strength, to create disruption. And when this doesn't produce, he can be left without a plan B. When tasked with taking on bigger tackles who could match his strength, he could find himself captured and removed from the play. Bain is attacking without a plan here off the play action, and when his strength doesn't work, he's at the mercy of the tackle. He can't rip free for a move, and the QB has a clean pocket to launch from. Here's what I mean by getting captured. Bain tries to convert speed to power and extend one arm to make himself long, but the bigger tackle simply smothers the attempt and steers Rueben around the pocket and out the play. And this is particularly egregious. Only the tight end is assigned to him this time, but his bull rush gets shut down, and he has no moves to counter himself free and get after Lagway, taken out of the play by a non-lineman. That's bad, y'all. Another problem Bain suffers with is getting too tall in his approach. He's not a long, small forward type athlete that's become common at edge, so he shouldn't find himself exposing his frame as much as he does, getting too tall in the battle and getting knocked off balance. Bain tries the speed option here against the left tackle, but the space is closed and Bain gets clamped. And look how tall he is in the engagement. He shows decent strength to knock the tackle back a step, but he's too tall and the tackle is controlling where he's going. This is the backside of the run, so it's not as consequential, but he still shouldn't get bullied like this. He goes for the bull rush, but simply gets stood up, and then gets tossed aside like he's a cornerback. And this is just not good body angles against A&M. The line slides left and sends the tight end and back to double Bain, and he does a good job to swim and dip past the first. But then he gets way too tall, and the running back puts him on his ass. One other issue that stood out on tape is that Rueben could look a little heavy and slow-footed at times, not always displaying the quickest closing speed and struggling somewhat against mobile QBs. Running a stunt here inside, Bain spots the QB wants to scramble, but is just too slow-footed to chase this outside the pocket. The QB is never in any trouble and finds an easy pass on the sideline. More lead-footed play here versus the Aggies, and clumsy footwork takes him out the play. He holds the outside gap in case the QB keeps it, but as soon as he sees the handoff, he needs to trigger and close the space to the back at a shallow angle. However, he's glued to the spot, then gets himself caught up in traffic as he tries to work to stop the ball, allowing the runner to slip past. And I'm really not messing with this technique or show of speed. Pitt run a dash concept here, late rolling the pocket with the tight end trying to hold the edge. Bain knows he has the edge, and if he's going to try to fold inside the block for the QB, he better be fast. But he's very slow-footed, getting himself caught behind the play and giving up edge integrity. If you're going to freelance, you best get it right. This lack of pure speed and over-reliance on strength puts question marks on his grading as to whether or not he can be an elite rusher at the pro level. A monstrous force, Rueben Bain Jr. is a powerful player who's shown the ability to dominate. Utilizing his strength and super snap timing, he attacks offensive linemen with a powerful punch and keeps up the bull rush until they surrender. However, he's not as consistent as you'd like, and his weaknesses don't align well with the pro level. He needs to add moves to his game and show he has a way to beat bigger offensive linemen, or he's stuck as a run game merchant. The floor seems high, but this lack of pure speed and over-reliance on strength puts question marks on his grading as to whether he can really be an elite level rusher at the pro level.